let's review what we did today in class. This is Chapter 16 homework, and this one is just a very simple, is it job cost or is it process cost? And the grand pianos could be either or, kind of depending on whether you're in a factory of grand pianos or you're in a workshop that's, creating or building a special grand piano. So that could go either way. But the rest of them are pretty explanatory, beach towels, bolts and nuts, lawn chairs, headphones, door hardware, house paints. Grand pianos could be process, and table lamps. All of those would be done in process cost. The ones that are unique and would be built per specs, specific specs, would be the job cost. Somebody who designed a patio, cut flower arrangements, a tailored dress. There's that concrete swimming pool again. And a special order grand piano also could be a job cost. So that was our first one. And our second one was looking at terms and definitions. And this will look really familiar. I will let you sort through there so you can understand why these are the correct answers. Make sure you go over this one carefully. So it's FADCGBE. And then here is a job cost summary. And all of the information is over here for this. So the first thing you have to do is figure out the cost, right? And that's 20,830 and 546,170. And that's going to give you, let's see if I can get some commas in here because then it won't be quite so confusing. There you go. So these costs are told to you over here. Here's your beginning, right here. And these are the incurred costs right here, and they end up here. Now we've got to account for the units. So here we begin. Beginning work in process. Do we have someplace? Right here. Units beginning work in process is 2,000. And units started this year is 32,500. And that means we have to account for 34,500. And can we do that? I bet we can. We transferred out 32,000. And we have 2,500 left in process. So that comes to 34,500. Okay, we've reconciled cost, or we've created cost, and we've reconciled a number of units to be accounted for. So we're going to do equivalent units now. And equivalent units are, well, we transferred out 32,000. So we know that's at 100% complete. Let's put some zeros in here too. Could have done this before we started, I guess. Come on. There we go. And units in process were, let's see, ending work in process, direct was 2,500. Direct materials, and conversion was 1,500. So we're going to add those together. And 3,500. So those are our units. Now we're going to drop these costs down here. And the cost for beginning work in process, right here, are 18,000 for direct material, 18,550, and conversion is 2280. What cost did we incur? 357,500 and 188,670. So that gives us total costs to account for, which are 376,050 and 190,950. And actually the rest is history after this point. So you get 34,500 equivalent here and 33,500 here. Divide those out and you end up with $10.90 here and $5.70 here. And that rounded because I played with the zeros. So now all you have to do is combine what was transferred out, okay, and direct materials and conversion costs, add that up, do the same thing with ending, and our number here should be 576,123, and gosh, that's going to match this up here. I hope. Did I do something wrong? Surely not. No, there it is. So it should match. Those two numbers should match. So let's put some numbers in here and see if they do. So this is what was transferred out. In direct materials, that was 32,000, remember? We transferred out 32,000 parts. So direct materials was 1090. So if you take 1090 times $32,000, you should come up with a whole bunch of numbers, right? I'm hunting for numbers so I don't have to think. So here we go. 32,000 times $10.90 comes to 348,800. Our conversion costs were 182,400. That's 32,000 times 570. And we have a total here of 531,200. These are the costs transferred out. And this is what's left in ending inventory. That's 2,500 at $10.90, so that's 27,250. Conversion cost of 8,550. And that gives us a grand total of 35,800. Now, if I add these two together, I will come up with 567. That is a cost summary sheet. They're fun to do. Most of the time, all your information is going to be given to you. You simply have to know where to put them at and know how to add them up. And then our final one here is fill in the blank, sort of. So our first one, they wanted to know the total cost in processing in the punching department. Well, they began with this. They added this, which is this. So what was my total cost processed? 94,500. That gets pulled down here. There's 6,000 left. So cost transferred out is the 94,500 minus the 6,000 gives us 88,500. And then it tells us the beginning inventory in bending was 9,750. They added 239,400. Gives them total cost in process of 249,150. Direct materials added, we had to figure that one out, right? So to figure that one out, we had to take this number and subtract all of these to get this number, 93,250. We then had total cost in process and bending of 294,150 right here. Our ending inventory, our ending work in process was 12,000, so that means we transferred out 236,400. And then we look at the finished goods. Started with 18,000. This was added, 236,400. This is what was available for sale. And then it says cost of goods available for sale was here. We had an ending inventory that they didn't give us the number for, so this was our cost of goods sold. You subtract cost of goods sold from available, you're going to come up with the ending inventory. And that pretty well takes care of the homework. Now let me show you what we have up on store for you with the multiple choice. Both of the tests are available now, but I want you to just look at them and prepare for doing them on Wednesday because we're going to do them in class. So you have, this is just to differentiate between financial accounting and managerial accounting, just by selecting here. These are terms and definitions you're going to match. And then we have, I think, about 4 problems where you're going to have to do short calculations. And you can, my suggestion is to print this out and bring it to class and do your calculations right in class, so that if you do get the wrong number here, at least I'll have your calculations and I can give you partial credit. This is worth 35 points, so that's 5 points each. And I think it'll take you about 40 minutes, I think. Maybe 35, 40 minutes. That's the multiple choice. Then we come to the test. The test application part only has 3 questions. It has a bonus question, but it has a, here we go. You've got a job cost. Here's your information. Here's your instructions. And you're going to apply these costs to these jobs, and then you're going to find out what the work in process inventory is, the finished goods, and the cost of goods sold. Then you're going to do an allocation of overhead, using each one direct labor hours, machine hours, or direct labor cost. So we'll have, you can allocate, show how that you would allocate the factory overhead. Then you're going to have a cost sheet, just like the one we did in the homework. Here's your information. Here are your forms. You should be able to pull that fairly quickly. And that one's worth 25. This one is worth 10 points, but it's a bonus question. So you can, and it's all about work in process. Number 2 is only worth 15 points. So each one of these are worth 5 points to get them right. This one I put in a spreadsheet because it just worked better. I tried working it out in Word and it was very cumbersome, so this works so much better. This one I would, again, it's going to be hard to print this one and get it all on one page so you can read it, but you can pull it up on the computer, your computers, and work on it in class. So, and those are the tests. Then we'll start those Wednesday and finish them on Friday. I'd like to do them all in class, so bring calculators. You can use your computers, you can use your books, and you can use your notes, so you'll be fine. So thank you, and I'll see you Wednesday. Be careful coming in, okay?